You're like a majority of Americans, building wealth is something that you absolutely need to look forward to. And the way that you plan this is going to be discussed in this video. Now, if I would have understood this and really put a lot of action into this at a much younger age, it would have made a game-changing difference, literally for my life and for my family. But right now we're trying to play catch up with a lot of the investments. So let's go ahead and get into these guys. Number one, never spending more than you earn. This is one of the absolute fundamentals that need to be taught at a very young age. I am talking probably elementary school, going into middle school, going into high school. Spending more than you earn is what has got us into this incredible over $1 trillion credit card deficit, meaning that if you're making $4,000, you're not spending $5,000. If you always stick with this, no matter what it is, you are not going to be in debt. That does not mean that you need the newest iPhone, that you need the $50,000 car, that you have a vacation home, that you're borrowing your life away and your wealth away is essentially what you're doing. When you look at wealthy people in America, most of them do not have debt. There is a very small portion that uses debt in a manner that kind of can build a little bit of wealth. But overall, guys, when you have a paycheck, when you don't have debt, you all of a sudden have an incredible amount of money. Not all debt is bad. However, a majority of it does overwrite itself. And if you have the ability to actually pay cash for things, it is advisable. This means that when you're purchasing assets, when you're looking at things that are actually going to value or increase in value in time, that is what you want to buy, guys. When you look at something like a vehicle is one of the biggest depreciating assets that we do have in America. All of the cars that we see, the millions and millions of cars on the road are depreciating every single year. You are looking to spend your hard-earned money on things that are going to be appreciating assets and that are really going to build wealth and create wealth for you the entire time of your life. Number two, guys, understanding your motivation for wealth creation. This is a lot more difficult to figure out. And this honestly took me a while personally to figure out, focusing and really understanding the long-term focus, the motivation of why I want to create wealth. For me, guys, it is about generational wealth. It is not for me. There are a lot of sacrifices that both my wife and I do make on the motivation and on the pursuit of having a plan for our children, for our grandchildren, is the reason. Saving up for retirement, paying off our vehicles an incredible amount of time, paying off our house and having it completely debt-free to give that asset to my children. Again, giving the assets to my kids and to my grandkids is really creating generational wealth, where if I can save $2, $3, $4 million in an account, even taking $50,000, $100,000 out of that every single year with the growth factor will still leave a majority of the money in there. This is going right into number three, guys, making your money work for you. That is right, guys. When you look at an investment strategy, when you look at putting money into your 401k, the more you put in there, the sooner you put it in there, the better it is going to be. When you look at compounding interest, this is one of the absolute biggest things that I feel a majority of individuals do not understand, or they just neglect and really do overlook. Making sure that you have things into ETFs, making sure if you're putting it into mutual funds, guys, you have to be putting away 15% of your monthly paycheck. That is really the bare minimum, in my opinion. And again, you can even do more than this if you're looking to really grow generational wealth and knowing exactly the logic and the reason what you want to put behind. Because for me personally, if you have followed my investment journey, guys, we are putting $1,000 a week. That is $52,000 a year we are putting in here. Now, that is by design. That is what we're looking to do, giving our investments time to grow, giving them the ability to compound over years. But even if you're putting $50, $100 away a month, it is going to add up, guys. When you do that 10, 20, 30 years, the compounding interest and the compounding effect is going to be insane. And it is. If you look at compound interest calculators, if you put what you're putting in your 401k, not including the growth factor of it, it is astronomical in 30 years, exactly where it's going to be. Number four, giving your investments time to grow. Again, this is a piece that I wish I would have known and really taught myself, 10, 20 years ago, is keeping my investments. I've kind of bought investments, 401k contributions, went through them, took some money out of them, borrowed against them, things of that nature, which looking back was just, in my opinion, absolutely stupid to do. Taking money out of a retirement account does not earmark that money for retirement. you are using it for other things in your house, in your life that you should not be. You have to give it time to grow, guys, and you have to make sure. Number 5, knowing how you can benefit from your compounding interest. That is right, guys. It is an absolute necessity to understand compounding interest. Do a quick Google search, understand exactly what we're talking about when it comes to compounding interest. Again, if you have 10, 20, 30 years to compound, especially if you start investment accounts, which I have done for my kids, the compounding is just astronomical when you put time behind it. Even when you started, let's say, when the stock market started, if you put $1 in it, I know the dollar was a lot more valuable back then, but putting $1 in the stock market would have grown, I believe it is around 400 or 4,000 times at this point with the single dollar that you put in there. You have to understand and know what compounding interest is. Number 6, know how to implement leverage. This is something that I've really focused on. Again, looking at the investment account, ensuring that we do $1,000 every single week for 52 weeks if I have to leverage those investments, because essentially with the leveraged investments, I am paying 7%. If I'm making in the course of this entire year 22 or 23%, where the portfolio is right now, guys, even if I take that 7% off, pay off whatever I leverage, it is going to make a huge difference because I am still keeping that other 13%, 14%, 15% that we have of the growth factor. Now, this can help your investments grow much, much faster when you are leveraging this. This is why a lot of banks, a lot of fund managers really utilize that leverage system that they do have. Now, of course, M1 Finance, guys, right down below, you can leverage against your portfolio up to 40% of the value, which is exactly what I have been doing. If I need to borrow that $1,000, we will every single week to make sure that we are leveraging the funds that we have in there. Number 7, don't compare your goals to others. This is one important thing, guys. Even looking at YouTube, even looking at my investment portfolio, there are going to be people that have less that can invest less. There are also going to be people that have more and are going to invest more. I think the same ideology when I look at YouTube. There are going to be content creators, there are going to be financial influencers that have a lot more following, a lot more subscriber base, a lot more videos that I have. But overall, guys, it is about your own personal journey. That is really where the wealth goal comes in. You have a goal, you want to achieve the goal. How are you going to get from point A to point B? It is your personal journey, guys, and everyone is indicative of itself. Number 8, don't take shortcuts to reach your financial goal. This is a huge one. Again, looking back and thinking mutual funds, ETF, gold, cryptocurrencies, everything of that nature, guys. A lot of people were lured in with NFTs. We've seen a lot. And now, again, I know on one side, there's an incredible amount of money and a lot of people that made an insane amount of money in cryptocurrency. There's a lot of people who made a ton of money on NFTs. There's also the flip side of it, guys. There are a lot of people that lost an insane amount of money. If you're buying Bitcoin at 50K, it goes down to 18. You're cashing those out. We see it in the stock market. We see it in pretty much any collectibles. We see it in NFTs, cryptocurrencies, anything. If you look through time, guys, there's been a point by taking shortcuts and investing, not allowing it to really grow and really be more favorable in the market, I guess. It might be exciting when you see people that are saying, hey, you can do this. You can make $10,000 a week. I made $50,000 in my first month. Most of that is not legitimate. And most of that, guys, is not regular results. If you are the 0.0001%, that maybe it did happen to, or maybe it got lucky, maybe it hit the lotto, guys. But the tried and true investment, like investing over a certain amount of time, will make a very, very big difference. Number 9, never stop investing in yourself. This is a huge one, guys. When you start learning, whether it is in your job, whether it is a career, whether it is something you like to do, guys, the education never stops. It is really indicative. And again, I focus a lot of my time and effort into education, reading books, wealth generation, reading books about investing. It doesn't have to stop, guys. The only way that learning stops is when you stop it. There are so many educational tools, from following different websites, on social media, influencers. Make sure you check your sources, make sure it's legitimate, but it is always a great, great way to continue educate yourself. And the final one, guys, creating greater value to generate more wealth. This is, again, one thing that I feel a lot of people do overlook. When you look at your education piece, when you look at certificates, when you look at kind of doing other things within your job, are you really giving 100%? Can you add a greater value to the workspace? That is going to be reflective in your raise. That is going to be reflective in your bonuses. There are a lot of things that are going to be influenced with you just adding greater value as an individual. When is the last time you read a book? When is the last time you learned a new skill? Learned a new language? I mean, there are an infinite amount of possibilities in your life that you could actually take advantage of, and it would make a game-changing difference for the rest of your life, the rest of your career. Making sure, I mean, even if you're entertaining, if you're writing, if you're creating content on YouTube, if you're cooking, whatever it may be, guys, the side hustle, the side job, something you love to do, make sure you're creating greater wealth, greater value for you as an individual. So guys, that's going to do it for our quick list right here. Simple principles for building up your wealth. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.